Hi again guys, and welcome to, of course, another speed build for Forza Horizon 4, this time for one of my favourite cars in the game, the Zonda Cinque. Personally, I like the Zonda F more, of course that's why I painted it this way, but the Cinque is always a great car in Horizon, one of the best all-round supercars in the game. In fact, not one of the cheapest though. It tends to be over 2 million credits, which can put some people off for sure, but I would say it's well worth it. Now in terms of tuning, this one that I've built is in S2, which is arguably better than Group X because you get more use out of it. But if you do want to get this one into Class X, just fit the chin splitter on the front racing wing, in other words, because that will bump you up to 999 if you need to. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because you can have, as I said, more use out of it here in 994 in S2 instead of X. Now, as far as the tuning, and as far as the performance in particular, first of all on the benchmark, 1.8 to 60, 3.8 to 100, 272 flat out. So for the specs alone, as I said, it is one of the strongest supercars in the game, especially given that it doesn't even have 1500 horsepower. Now, as far as the gearbox, I'd recommend a final drive of 2.75, then for the individual gears, 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.18, 0.95 and 0.76. Then for the alignment, we've got neutral on basically everything. So caster, camber and tow. And incidentally, this one does have all-wheel drive, so I would recommend fitting that. Some people don't like it, and of course if you don't want to fit it, then you don't technically have to, but you won't be as quick off the line, you won't have as much grip obviously, you won't be as good off-road, and you won't be as good in bad weather. So I would say across the board, all-wheel drive is the way to go. As far as anti-roll, we've got 35 and 25, springs on 120, 150, and I've kind of leveled out the ride height a little bit more, lowered it at the front on 7.5 centimeters, 8 centimeters on the back. It still looks a little bit higher at the front, but that's kind of to counteract that. The dampers we've got on 12, 13, 5 and 6. The aero you want set as low as possible on the back. As I said, I would not recommend the front wing unless you want it to be in Class X. And finally for the diff, no surprise to anyone, I've got 100% on the acceleration side of things, 0 for the deceleration, and then an 80% rear bias, which is quite a lot more toward the back than we'd usually have. I tend to go for about 70, sometimes 75. It's only the best handling of cars that I tend to put up around 75 or 80, so that gives you some idea of how good this one can be. Now this tune is of course on my storefront, so if you want to find it easily without even needing to do it yourself, just use the keywords in the description below this video or use my gamer tag and you should be able to find it pretty easily. But what you want to see in practice, of course, in an actual race, is how quick can it actually go. Now, in terms of all-round ability, the great thing about the Zonda is in the real world it's a brilliant supercar in totally different ways to what it is in the game. In the real world it's the look, the sound, the driving passion. In the game it's got everything. It's the acceleration, the top speed and the handling all rolled into one. Although it is over 2 million, which is a lot, I would definitely say that it's worth it because you're looking at the top end speed of a Hennessy Venom or a Veyron with the acceleration of something like a new Ford GT or a McLaren Senna and the handling of basically the best supercars in the game like a Noble or an Ultima or even the Senna in some cases. So if you get the chance to use the tune either from here or from my storefront, then of course I hope you enjoy it. You can click here on screen to see all of my other tunes on YouTube, and if you follow my storefront in the game, I've got literally hundreds of tunes like this for tons of different cars. But that's it for this tune. I'll see you next time, and for now, as always, thanks for watching.